So there was a couple kind of basic things that I wanted to go over. All right, this is a little bit too loud. The funk level is about excellent. Cool, there we go. So there were a couple basic things that I wanted to go over with Chipp game plan stuff that I thought might be helpful for helping people structure their thoughts. And I say, like, broadly speaking, Guilty Gear is a hard fucking ass game to learn. And most of the advice I give is just play Guilty Gear, because kind of no matter what you do, the only thing that you can control for, like, you can't really know what the right order is to learn things. You can't control for, like, who you get to play online that day. It's very hard to approach Guilty Gear with any kind of system or method for learning, especially if you're new to fighting games in general. And so people will get all caught up in, like, hey, how do I control my character better, right? Jump install is the great example of this, right? Where people are like, yo, I heard that if you want to learn how to play Chipp, you have to learn how to jump install. And it's like, so jump install is a mechanic that lets you get combos where you couldn't get combos normally, right? Like, normally, after I do an air teleport, I cannot jump. But if I do an air teleport with a jump install, I can jump. That's how jump install works. It's kind of annoying, but you don't really need to learn it unless you're doing some advanced Chipp stuff. And by the way, I fucked up every single time I tried to jump install there. I'm just pointing that out because I know someone would get to it in the comments and call me out on that eventually if I didn't bother. But, like, if you don't know how to learn Guilty Gear, no one really knows how to learn Guilty Gear. Yo, thanks for the follow, Crystal Coins. It can be very intimidating because, like, you want to feel like you're getting somewhere. You want to feel like you're working towards a goal, and it can be very hard early on to get that feeling if you don't have any idea what you should be thinking about. So what I like to do is I like to break down a character not by, oh, these are all the cool things they can do, or even these are the super, like, high damage combos they can do, but, like, what is my game plan? How do I win with you? And how do I figure out what that game plan is in a way that makes it easy for me to make decisions in the moment, right? Because, like, and this is why I bring up jump install, like, if you jump install, you can get combos like that. If you don't jump install, you just get that. Okay, that's not a lot of damage, right? Actually, to be an accurate representation, be like this, plus a little more. Jump install helps me add like 10 or 15% to that combo, right? It's not worth beating yourself up over the head about if you can't do it. What's more important is to be figuring out what you should be doing with a character, right? If you need to start somewhere, start from there. What the fuck is my game plan? So, as it turns out, Chipp has a whole bunch of tools for moving around the screen. He's got some combos that do some okay damage. He's got a lot of combos that don't really do great damage. And he's got all kinds of tools for, like, starting shit, right? So I can do all kinds of combos. If you were here last week, you might have seen me run Starsky through some basics around, like, how to use Fire Punch, right? That's all tactical shit. The easy thing that you need to understand with Chipp, and this is true for almost everyone in Guilty Gear, and almost everyone in fighting games, really, the first thing you need to think about is just, hey, how do I get them in the corner? And the reason is, in the corner, Chipp gets two very important things. One is he gets a combo extension that doesn't require meter, okay? So normally, in the corner, I can do this. That's pretty good. I get a hard knockdown off that, and I get some extra damage, right? That combo does not work outside the corner, and usually if you try and do that shit at mid-screen, then you don't end up with pretty good screen position, right? So this is the basic part. Now from here, I can use that Alpha Blade into wall cling to give me even more advantage, right? So I can do something like this. Oops, I fucked up. I do that sometimes. So you can get an extra Alpha Blade. Cool, I get 2 Alpha Blades in that combo. So that's 90 damage. I didn't need to spend meter. I get a hard knockdown afterwards that I can use to continue pressure. That took him out of the corner, though. So maybe I just want to do this. So I can use Alpha Blade and Wall Cling and Wall Dive to keep them in the corner, which is pretty cool. Once I get them in the corner, I get a little extra damage on every combo, right? Plus, I get to keep them there, right? And while they're in the corner, I can make it very hard for them to block my next attack, right? You can do shit like this. Oops. Again, I fucked up. Alright, that was a bad example. Basically, anytime that you knock him down in the corner, you can cancel into teleport, and you can make it very hard to figure out which side to block on. All you have to do... Oops. Yeah, I should turn off stun. Let's see, where is that? Okay. No, that's not what I want. There we go. No. Woo! So, son of a bitch. This is the problem with doing stuff live. Yeah, so as long as I've got them in the corner, and I do my hard slash teleport, or I do whatever, as long as I can wall cling over them and drop, I can make it very hard to get for people to block that next thing, right? That's cool. Yo, what up, Bloodwolf? That's pretty cool. So not only does Chipp get free extra damage in the corner, he also gets free mix-ups in the corner, because he gets all kinds of stuff off the Alpha Blade, wall cling into whatever, right? And I'm not going to go over the shit, because you can figure out shit on your own, you can watch videos, you can copy that shit's easy, right? The important part is, in the corner, Chipp's mix-ups get more powerful, right? Because he's got kind of smaller ways of doing left-right, and he still has high-low, and he's got all this other shit, right? Even his like leaf command grab gets a combo extension in the corner, which is just free, it costs no meter, right? All of his regular combos also get combo extensions, and if you want to do like the longer shit, you can do the longer shit. If you want to spend meter, you can get even bigger stuff in the corner. So Chipp gets a lot of value in the corner. So if you're learning Chipp and you're a new player, one of the first things you want to do is just figure out how to get that value in the corner. Get some basic mix-ups, right? Like right now, the trendy shit to do with Chipp is what we're calling the Beyblade mix-ups. And it looks kind of like that. That was a particularly poorly executed version, so I'm still working on them, right? But the idea is basically, you can make it hard for them to block the high-low and the left-right, if you're good at it, which I'm not. And that's pretty cool. That's also a lot of work to practice. You can practice that if you want. Or you could just say, hey, I'm going to do the regular combo and then figure out some mix-ups to keep them going, right? And so on and so on. So some of what you want to do is just make sure you have that combo extension, and the other part is make sure you have the mix-ups, right? And you can spend forever doing all kinds of shit. Like, you can just spend some time in training mode, going ham, and beating up this poor soul, and figuring out all kinds of crazy-ass shit that you can do, and that's fantastic, right? So you should absolutely do that. That's an important thing to do to make your Chipp stronger. You want to plan for all kinds of tech patterns and all kinds of who's and what's it's. I actually highly recommend putting the dummy on block, also to get a feel for what it's like to go up against when someone's actually blocking your shit, because you want to plan for that too, right? Like, not all your mix-ups are going to hit unless you're godlike. So you want to know what it's like to continue pressure in the corner too. This is important. It's real good stuff to practice in the throw, or you set up your leaf grab and then you get your combos, blah 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 blah. So Chipp is super powerful in the corner. That's the TLDR for that first chunk. Part of the power that you, like, part of the work you have to do is to, in order to unlock that potential, is actually to do the work of figuring out your mix-ups in the corner, figuring out how you want to keep pressure, your greedy options, your not so greedy options, right? Like, a lot of times what I like to do in the corner is use this advantage not to set up a mix-up, but just to go invisible and see what people do when I use Find Me, right? And now if I can continue pressure here, it's even harder to deal with. Great. So we know that Chipp is annoying as fuck in the corner, and he doesn't have to spend any meter to do it. Awesome. So how does that inform the rest of our game, right? Well, all the shit that I want to do, I got to get him in the corner somehow, which means that when we're mid-screen, my goal is not necessarily to optimize for damage. My goal is to push them in the corner. Now, there are kind of two big ways to do this, right? You could just say, fuck it, I'm going for corner carry, right? that combo is pretty good for corner carry. Like, if we start with my back in the corner and I land that, like, that, and if they back tech after that, he's almost in the corner, right? Now, I sacrifice a lot. I don't really get any good Oki. I don't get any good pressure off of this, right? Like, look where he is when he recovers, right? It's not like I have a whole lot that lets me continue pressure safely. So if I go in again, I'm taking a risk. But if we're already at like half screen or something, it's not the worst thing in the world to just put his back in the corner. And now if we're playing neutral, at least we're doing it where he's right where I want him, right? The other way to think about it is, hey, maybe I am able to score a hit at mid-screen and I can turn it into a knockdown, right? That's cool too. What can I do with a knockdown? Well, a knockdown will let me pressure again more safely. Thanks, Bloodwolf. Sleep well. So if I get a knockdown here, I'm leaving a bunch of damage on the table, right? I could go for a combo here that's bigger, but I'm putting him in a situation, in this case this situation, which is hard for him to defend against, right? I'm mixing him up. Thanks for the follow, Bloodwolf. So this is great, right? I can keep on mixing up here. There's just one problem. I'm taking a whole bunch of risks here, and I'm not doing that much damage, right? I'm actually doing very little damage. So, that doesn't mean that I don't go for knockdowns at mid-screen. But what it does mean is my goal at mid-screen is not to kill him, not if he's got full health. My goal at mid-screen is to find a situation that lets me do something that can push him into the corner, right? So maybe I get that knockdown, not because it was exactly what I wanted, but because I know that I'm being pretty conservative with my combo options, right? I'm saying, okay, I just hit something, right? I hit something I'm probably not gonna get a lot of, like a 5K. Let's just turn that into a knockdown and give myself the option to go here. And now he's in the corner, so now when I get that knockdown, now I'm a little bit more scary, right? Because I have this shit when I land it. Yeah, so getting to the corner is the goal, and sometimes you don't want to take the biggest steps you can take to the goal. Sometimes what you're doing is you're taking the safest steps to the goal, right? In the case of these mix-ups, like, these mix-ups are pretty annoying to deal with, right? But each time I cross him up, I'm not actually pushing him closer to the corner, right? So my goal here is to get him in the corner. Yeah, sometimes I'm going to cross him up. Maybe I cross him up because I don't think he's going to block that direction. And maybe I cross him up because I'm actually closer to the corner on this side, and so it makes sense for me to go to that one, right? But the idea is, mid-screen, your decisions should ultimately be focusing on what can I do from here, given the state that I am in and the state that my opponent is in, to push him closer to the corner. Sometimes it's going for an attack, right? I'm going to run in and I'm going to push buttons and I'm going to do this because that's what I have to do in order to push him to the corner. But there are other ways to do that. You can also do that by letting Soul just run at you and try to kill you, right? If I'm here, right, and Soul runs at me and just pretend he's running at me, I can put him in the corner not by hitting him, but just by doing this, right? And even if I don't hit him, right, even if I don't hit him with that attack because he's running in at me, or this, right, YRC teleport, great. Now he is closer to the corner than I am, right? So yeah, the way you want to start to organize your tools, and I'm going to go ahead and set them to block for this next chunk. The way you want to organize your tools, and really the way that you can kind of frame a lot of the thinking that you put into a character, especially when you're just starting to learn them. You can start by asking yourself questions like, all right, so where are they the most dangerous, right? Yeah, thanks for the follow, Dare. Where are they the most dangerous? And then how do I use my tools to get into that position, right? So for here, for blocking, now I might be thinking, hey, maybe I have a really hard time opening up this Soul, so I need to figure out how to get the position I want without having to take too many risks, right? Too many big risks. Well, so that's where Gamma Blade is super handy, right? On block, it gives me an advantage, okay? So maybe I want to cover myself with YRC Gamma Blade. Even if that didn't hit, right? So they blocked all of that. We started at mid-screen, Soul's already almost in the corner, and all I did was spend 25% meter. And like, if I'm smart about it, I won't even have to YRC that, right? I might be able to just run in and press a button Oops. That is, run in and press a button. That with the OTG, that puts him in the corner, right? So, how should this help you? Yes, now that you know where you want to be, you can think about the tools and how they get you there, right? Chipp's teleport is useful. It's useful for all kinds of things. It's a mix-up tool, it's mobility, whatever. But one of the things it lets you do is just say, hey, if you give me a little bit of space and I'm in the corner, which is not where I want to be, I can pop out for free, right? You don't have to just use this kind of thinking to help you, to figure out how to use the moves. You can also help it to think about just what you should be doing in that instance, right? It is very easy if Soul, let's have Soul really whoop my ass, right? So we got Soul, he's on, let's see, training, no, we want calm at 100. Get in that ass, Soul, just whoop, yeah, there we go. Fucking, oh yeah, give me that good shit, right? If Soul's whooping my ass and I'm in the corner, this is not a great place to be. Oh, fuck. And if the way I'm thinking about the situation is, oh, I should hit him, well, that's tricky, because we've already established that pretty much everyone is going to get more damage in the corner than if their back is to the corner, which means that it is no longer in my best interest to go for an attack, right? Shit! Yeah. Also, highly recommend getting whooped on by bots. Do not get whooped on enough by human beings. So, woo! Grand Viper, this is the most realistic Soul AI I've ever seen. Cool. Now he's in the corner. And doing stupid shit. Ah! And so on, right? So yeah, if you take away one thing from this stream, it's that you don't necessarily always need to be thinking, you can stop now, computer. Ah! It's that you don't need to always be thinking about what move beats their move, or how do I use this specific thing, or how do I land this specific combo. All you need to think about is, where am I the most dangerous? How do I use my tools to get me there? And in any given situation, what is the easiest and lowest risk path to make that happen, right? So if Soul is rushing me down in the corner, I don't want to be pressing buttons. I just want to be getting the fuck out of the corner and then press some buttons to put Soul in the corner, right? You don't have to worry about combos. You don't have to worry about crazy setups. The crazy setups are if you're losing even though you put them in the corner a lot. Then you got to work on your setups, right? You got to do more damage. You got to be crazier with your offense, whatever. But when it comes to decision making, and I think that is the thing that people have the hardest time and Guilty Gear with as new players, right? Because you can get good at the execution and you can learn all that shit if you're the kind of person who's good at learning that stuff and that's just what you want to jump into. But if you're not thinking about where you want to be and how you want to get there, then you're gonna have a much harder time in this game.